So hello students, today we are into lecture number 10 of Introduction to C++. So today we shall be looking at a very crucial part of computers, that is Introduction to Computer Networks. Okay, so when I define the term network, what all things come to our mind? The first thing that comes to our mind in network, while I coin the term network or while I speak of the term network, is of towers, mobile tower. We often say that network is not there, the network is not available. So what is network basically? Network is such a thing which helps you to share data, share some digital data. Okay, so according to the definition, a group of computers which are connected to each other and follow similar usage protocols for the purpose of sharing information and having communications provided by the network nodes is known as computer network. So quite a huge definition, that a group of computers which are connected to each other and follow similar usage protocols. Okay, so a group of computers. So now what is this? See, look at this picture. It is a group of computers that are connected to each other. So this, what you are seeing on your screens, this basically is a network. Okay, so a group of computers which are connected to each other and follow similar usage protocols for the purpose of sharing information. So these all computers are what you are seeing on your screens, my dear friends or students. These all computers are connected to each other for the purpose of sharing of some information. Okay, these are done for or basically with the intent of sharing some information. Now network may be small. A network may be small, or it may include just one system, or maybe as large as we may want. Now, what does this statement mean? It means that a network may be small. For example, if you are having a laptop, a Wi-Fi system, and a printer, or maybe uh, any device being connected to it. Okay, there may be a printer, a fax machine being connected. Okay, there may be a printer may be connected, or there may be like two printers connected. Okay, you may have two printers connected all together to a single system, or you may have like two laptops, one desktop, or maybe one desktop, two laptops being connected to a single printer. So these all constitutes a network. So that is why it is said that a network may be small, where it may include only one machine or one laptop, or there may be several laptops or several desktops connected all together. Okay, so what are the different types of networks? See, there are personal computers. The nodes means inside a network, whatever ends we have. For example, here see, this is a node, this PC is a node, this is a node, whatever seeing on your screen. So how many nodes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As a total 6 nodes are there. As in total we have 6 nodes, right? We have 6 nodes in total. Now there will be, in these nodes include personal computers, servers, then you have networking hardware and general hosts. Now coming to the type of networks. What are the different type of computer networks? The first computer network that we come across is LAN. The first computer network that we come across is LANs, local area network. Okay, we have local area network or LANs. Now, what what is the meaning of LAN? LAN means a small system, a small computer network for that is inexpensive. First of all, it is inexpensive. It uses Ethernet technology. Okay, two or more computers can be connected through wires or cables as acting nodes, and transfer of data is highly fast and secure. So here it is written that these local area networks LAN may be connected in a building or in a small office. Now let us see the pictorial view of a LAN. So this is what a LAN looks like. This is what a LAN looks like. Here how many nodes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With 6 nodes, this is kind of a setup. This is kind of a local area network which may be there inside a building, a room, an office, etc. Then comes PAN. PAN means personal area network. Now what is PAN? Per network is known as PAN. Remember this, The smallest computer network is known as PAN. Okay, so these devices may be connected through Bluetooth or infrared cable devices. The first thing is that it may be connected through Bluetooth or infrared cable devices. Now, this is the pictorial representation. What you're seeing on your screens is the representation of a personal area network. See, one phone is being connected. There is a headphone. There is a mobile. There is mouse. There is another laptop. There is a printer. So these are all what? Personal devices. Yes or no? These all are personal devices, and that is why it is known as personal area network. PAN. That is known as personal area network. Let me make it a little bit large for you. This is known as personal area network. Now, it has the connectivity range up to 10 meters. See, if you take the Bluetooth too far, will it work? The answer is no. When you take the when you take this too far, what happens is that the range gets disconnected. So if the range gets disconnected, you'll have connectivity issues. Means the signal will not come. It will have distorted signals. You will continue speaking and it will start automatically get out in between. It will get cut in between, right? So personal devices belonging to a single person can be connected through each other through a PAN. Means if you are using your laptop, you have connected your Bluetooth keyboard, for example, Bluetooth mouse. Then you have a printer being connected through Wi-Fi. You have a headphone, wireless headphones. If you have that, constitutes a personal area network. I hope it is clear, students. I hope this thing is clear to you. Then comes metropolitan area network. Now, what is MAN or metropolitan area network? Let's make it a bit bigger and then let's see it again. So, a MAN or metropolitan area network, what is it? A metropolitan area network can be of this type. See, many LANs, what you're seeing on your screens, this one building is a LAN, this one building is a LAN, this one building is a LAN. As in total, how many LANs are there? One, two, three, four, five. Now, all these LANs, when they come together, they form a metropolitan area network, that is MAN. Means it is it can be found within a city. For example, cable TV connection. You have cable TV connections. You have dish TV connections right inside the city. So these cable TV connections can also be an example of metropolitan area network, that is MAN. So whatever thing you are broadcasting on your channels, on your, for example, in cable TV you have different channels, right? So whatever thing you want to broadcast, it can be broadcasted at a single time on multiple screens inside a single city through with the help of certain metropolitan area networks. Okay. Now it can be in the form of Ethernet, ATM, token ring, and FDDI. It has a higher range. It has a very higher range. Means metropolitan area network. So obviously this works inside a city, and if it works inside a city, then you all can know that how much range it covers. Okay, how much range this thing covers. What is the use, or what is the minimum area it can work with. So metropolitan area network is kind of a wide area network which has a bit broader range than a LANs. So that is why many LANs combine all together and they form a metropolitan area network, that is MAN. Now let's go to the next one. We have wide area network, that is WAN. Now let's see what it is. So when we talk about WANs, wide area network, so a network which covers over a country with larger people. Okay, you can say many MANs altogether can form a WAN. Wide area network is a network which covers a country or a larger people. Telephonic lines are also connected through WANs. Means earlier when we used to have landlines, then we used to call people through these landlines, and then we used to get connected. We could use these telephone lines to make a call sitting in Kolkata. We can call directly a person who is sitting in for example Delhi. So we used to do this with the help of landlines or telephone lines. So how does this work? This works due to a network type which is known as wide area network. Means broad areas, larger areas can be covered with the example of WAN. Okay, internet is the biggest WAN in the world. Now, yes, here's the thing to notice, that what is the biggest wide area network that we have? That is the internet. So no other wide area network or no other WAN is as large as this. So internet can be considered to be the biggest or largest WAN. Mostly this WAN is used by government organizations to manage data and information. So wide area network or WAN can be used by government organizations especially to manage data and information. So as you can see on your screens, there is a wide area network. There is one office, there is another office. There are many, one, two, three, four, five, six offices located in various regions, located across various regions of various cities. So all these constitute together to become a wide area network, that is WAN. Okay. Then you have VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Okay. These are known as Virtual Private Network. So these are a system of the virtual area network or private network can be created. So VPN is generally used to create a private network. Okay. These mechanisms use encryptions and other security mechanisms can only authorized users can access. Now, when we use this VPN, that means what? These systems are encrypted. Now, what is encrypted? Encrypted means writing the data in some form of code, right? Writing the data in some form of code. For example, let me give you an example that suppose if I write something in Chinese language, will you be able to understand until and unless you have a translator? We shall not be able to understand Chinese as long as we don't have a translator to translate it for us. So that can be termed as encryption. Means it is written in such a language that others cannot understand. Only the authorized users can access. Okay. I hope you have understood this. Now coming to what are network devices and their types. So quickly let us see the various devices that are there. There are various electronic devices when we create a network. So what are those devices? Let us see first what are networking devices. So the devices which are used for communication between different hardwares is known as network devices. Okay. The devices which are used for communication between different hardwares is known as network devices. Okay. They are known as network devices and these devices are also known as physical devices. Why physical? The reason is that these physical devices are what? Basically a part of hardware. Okay, and these are different peripherals or equipment. So in a computer network, each network device plays a key role in their based on their functionality. For example, inside you have a laptop, you have a RJ45 cable, you have a router, you have a modem. All these work on different purposes. Okay, let us see what are the different types. The first is a network hub, then comes a network switch, then comes modem. So these are a few network devices. Then you have a router. So now let us see one by one what do they do, what is the functionality of them, these. Okay, what is the functionality of this? Let's see. Now a network hub. Hub is a networking device in a computer network used to communicate with the various network hosts. Hub is a network or networking device used to communicate with various network hosts for data transferring. Okay. The transfer of data in a computer network can be done in the form of packets, right? It can be done in the form of packets. Okay. Now let me give you an example with the help of screen. Just a second. Now see what is the hub. For example, you have a different connection. Let's say you have PC1, here is PC2, here is the second PC, here is the third PC. Here is the fourth PC. This PC number 4. Okay, so they are connected to each other, and in somewhere in between here you have a hub. Let me denote it with the help of H. Okay, so here is a hub. Now what it will do, whatever data that you get, suppose this is a packet of data, it will be sent like this. It comes here, and it had to be sent suppose at 4, but what will happen, it will go to 4, but it will go to 2 as well as 3. I hope you all have understood. The data comes from here, and due to this hub, it gets forwarded to PC number 2. It gets go to PC number 3. It goes to PC number 4 as well. Now the data is being transferred to both, to the three PCs, that is PC number 2, 3, and 4. Now, as you can see, the data was actually intended for PC number 4. It was intended for PC number 4, but unintentionally or unwantedly, it got transferred to others. So hub is basically a foolish device, and what it does, it transfers the data all throughout the network. Okay, now how does it look like? It consists of various switches or ports, you can say. So see in this diagram, as you can see in the diagram, I hope you are getting a clearer view. So through these different ports you can connect different PCs to hub. For example, how many PCs can you connect? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there are almost 7 ports through which you can connect 7 PCs. Okay, so this is the basic working of a hub. Means it is like a extension wire that you get at home, extension cable that you get. It has multiple ports, right? So for passing electricity, in the same way, here is hub for the transmission of data to various devices. Next comes modem. Now what is modem? Before knowing modem, we must know what are different kinds of data or waves. Okay, so modem is a device that enables computer to send or receive data over telephone wires or cable lines. Remember, the data should come through telephone wires or cable lines, and the data which is stored in computer signal is digital, whereas the data in a cable wire is analog. Now, what is analog and digital? Let's see. See, if you look at the screens, you have two kinds of data. Okay, the first, which is in the form of these squares, these are known as digital data. This is available in computers. Okay, now the next data that you have is of analog form. Okay, this data is of the analog form. Now what is the difference? Can you see? You have different kinds of waveforms. For example, this is a square shaped wave. This represents digital data. This is on, off. Okay, then you have analog data form. Then you have your analog form. Analog forms is similar to that of waves. Analog form is similar to that of waves. Okay, the data form or analog waves is kind of, analog data form is kind of waves, ups and downs are there. Now, what is a modem? Modem is basically made up of two words. Okay, modem is made up of two words. What are those two words? Modulator and demodulator. Combining these two words, mod dem. See, look at the word mod dem. M-O-D-D-E-M. So combining these two, we have this word known as modem. Combining these two, modulator and demodulator, you have the word modem. You have the word modem, right? Now, what does the modulator do and the demodulator do? Okay, the modulator converts the digital data to analog data. It converts digital data to analog data when data is sent by the computer. Means the computer understands only binary, one and 0. Okay, so the analog data has to be converted into digital data, right? These waves which are seeing on your screen, these waves have to be converted into square box shaped waves. Okay, and demodulator is what? It converts analog data to digital data. The first one was digital data to analog data. The second one is analog data to digital data when it is being received by the computer. So that is why modulator converts digital data to analog data when data is being sent by the computer. Next, when data is being received by the computer, you have demodulator. Okay, you have demodulator. Now, types of modems. This part is not required for you all. Then you have your RJ45 connector. This is a very important thing that you should know. RJ45 connector. So let me show it to you. Then you have a clearer picture. You have seen this kind of cables, this kind of connectors. So this is known as the 8-pin RJ45. Now RJ45 stands for registered jack. RJ45. So it is a 8-pin jack. It is a 8-pin jack to physically connect Ethernet and local area network. So for connecting different PCs or different wires, okay, you have certain RJ45 connectors or cables. So Ethernet technology that defines a protocol. Ethernet, what is Ethernet? Ethernet is a kind of protocol for establishing a LAN, means local area network. Okay, these are certain protocols or rules which are followed when you establish a local area network. Okay, the next thing that you must have is a Ethernet card. So where will this RJ45 pin go? It will go to the network interface card or NIC that you have. Okay, in modern computers, it is an internal hardware component. Means in modern computers, you have this. This is the RJ45 connector, and this is going inside this network interface card. This card which you are seeing on your screens right now, this is a network interface card. This is a network interface card, and this kind of gaps you might have seen at the sides of your laptops. So this network interface card will take in the RJ45 pin for connecting two or more computers, LANs or devices. Okay. Now, what are switches? Coming to this part, what are switches? Switches are networking devices. They are also used to connect devices in a network. Okay. They are used to connect the different systems or different desktops in a network, and they use packet switching to send, receive, or forward data packets. So data is forwarded in the form of packets. In the form of packets, okay. In the form of packets, you have this data being transferred through switches. So a switch has many ports. A switch has many ports. So when data arrives at a frame, it examines the destination address and performs and checks many data. So this is a multicasting. This is multicasting with the help of a switch. Okay. Now, what is switch? Switch has the address of these computers. These PCs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 PCs being connected all together using a switch. Now, the question might arise that, sir, why have we not connected hubs and we have connected switches? So earlier we had a problem that if the data was being sent from this first PC to suppose this PC, all the other PCs used to have it. All the other PCs used to have the same data. Now, in if we have switch, if we have switch, this switch contains the address of all these. This switch contains the address of all these, means it contains the MAC address or hardware address of all these devices. So when you send some data, when you send some data, it examines the destination's address and performs necessary checks, so that if suppose you are sending a data from this PC, first PC to this PC, it will, when the data is being sent, it will include this PC's address. This PC, what you are saying, this PC's address, it will be stored, and when the data gets transferred, it will go only to here rather than going to other nodes. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all. What is a switch? Then you have routers. Now, what is router? Now, see, when you have to take internet from any provider. We use routers. So this router will generate the internet or the network. So this goes to different two switches. This network or internet goes to two switches, and through these switches the two, you see, there is this local area network, and there is this local area network. Okay, now these, when any data comes, suppose this has to send data here, E has to send data, A has to send data to PCF. Now this router, it holds the address, IP address of this PC. So what happens is that, for example, let's say you're sending a WhatsApp message. So from this PC, it will go to the switch. Inside switch, it will see that what is my direction, where do I have to go. It will go to the router. It will go to the router, and through router, this router contains all the IP and MAC addresses. Okay, the IP and MAC addresses of this data are stored here. So when it will check that, okay, the IP address is matching with this or this, it had to send the data to PCF. So it will match for the IP address and MAC address, and then data will get transferred from A to switch, switch to router, router to switch again, and then to PCF on the second PC. Okay. Now lastly, we see the difference between hub, switch, and router. Now, hub is a physical device. It is a physical layer device. Okay. Switch is a data link layer device, and router is a network device in layer 3. Now, the second point is very essential, that hub works on the basis of broadcasting, means whatever data you send, whatever data you have to send, it will be sent through one to all, means the data broadcasts, basically the in a hub the data is being broadcasted, means it is being shared with everyone. It is being shared with everyone. Next, switch works on the basis of MAC address, whereas the router works on the basis of IP address. This, my dear friends, is a very important example. The switch contains, or switch works on the basis of MAC addresses, that is the hardware address, and a router works on the basis of IP address. Okay. The next difference that you have is that difference that you have is that hub is a multi-port repeater. It has multi-ports, many ports. Then a switch is a telecommunication device where or which receives the message from any device connected to it, and then transmits the message to only to the device when it is intended. So when you send the data, through a switch, it will determine the address of this PC. Then only the data comes like this to the switch and then gets transferred here. It will not go to the other nodes. So that is an advantage. The router routes or reads the data while coming, and it forwarded to where it is intended, there by determining the routes. Okay. Now a router, what it does, what is a router? The function of router is as such as, for example, you have this, you have two different networks or two different MANs being connected through a router. So when it wants to send the data, it will check, it will go to the switch and check, okay, the address was meant for this router, the data again will go here. After the data went here, it will again check for the IP address and MAC address, and if it matches, then only it will go to this switch and the data gets forwarded. Okay, so this is what a router does, reroutes, or it routes the data. At least hub is not an intelligent device because it sends the data to everyone, right? A switch is an intelligent device because it can judge for whom the data is being intended. Okay, it will not go here and there simply. It checks the address, and a router is more intelligent than the switches. It can read IP address as well as MAC address and make packets to the other router. Okay, then a single network is needed to connect a hub. A single network, at least single network is required to connect switch. Router needs to connect
two networks. Now as you can see in this diagram, students, as you can see in this diagram, the router connects two different networks. What I am telling is that the router, this left part is a network, this right part is a network. So it has the capacity or the ability to combine these two different networks. Okay. Lastly, hub is compared to cheaper compared to switch. Switch is expensive and comparatively router is more expensive. Okay, router is more expensive, right? So with this we come to the end of today's lecture. So what I hope you have understood what we all have discussed today. Please give a reading once, and I hope you understand what I have taught, and please be prepared for the next class as it will be also on networking. Okay, thank you.